Uh, all right. Let's. Yep, the little red light is on. The numbers are at a standard rate of 1 second at a time going up.
Mhm.
Who are you?
I am Daniel Sell, and I run the Melsonian Arts Council and write things when it allows me to.
Do you still write?
Yeah, like all the time. I just
Yeah, just constantly, just without fail. All I'm doing is writing. Thanks for not knowing that.
no, I mean like it's just I don't have anything like finished. Like it's just um like the publishing from the very beginning has always been something to get out of the way. It's just it's just a symptom of my inability to work with anyone.
Yeah.
Um, and that was a terrible mistake. I mean, it's great, but it's not conducive. Um, but yeah, I mean, I like I guess all my spare time is based around writing, but I am a strong believer that the actual putting words down is only one bit of writing. So the putting words down thing comes and goes, but the kind of uh, the work around it is always happening for the most part, I think.
Oh yeah, and by that measure, I'm a prolific writer.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's it's all good. It's,
Um, okay, so we've already dropped a bunch of things that we're gonna like touch on and unpack, but I guess
mhm,
people who don't know you personally most likely know you through Melsonia.
mhm.
So honestly, if you're coming to this and you don't know what Melsonia is, I don't know. We'll give you an overview, but I don't actually expect there are that many of you. How did you start with Melsonia? That's the question that actually I care about.
What the publishing stuff? You mean like the
Just
actual
just overall,
physical?
like little baby Dan, not yet a big dog in the indie space.
Oh, okay.
How does this shit happen?
Um, why did I start? I needed a name for the thing I was doing. Um, and I mean, the Milsonia is just a name that I've used between me and a couple of my friends forever. For just anything we do, we just name it that.
Huh?
And unfortunately, mine is the most successful, so it's mine now. I own this. But yeah, it's just what we call stuff because it is a what do you call it? What is it portmanteau? Whatever it is. It's a combination of our names in a pleasing manner. And yeah, we've used it for all kinds of stuff. Mostly just dicking around, like online things, like when we were playing games when we were younger online. Just all kinds of shit. Just like
What part?
there
Sorry,
is
sorry. What part of your Melsoni? Where's Dan or
cell is cell.
Mel?
Yeah,
So.
el.
Oh, okay. I was like, all right, cool.
it's it's like a letter.
Yeah, a little, very
It's
tiny.
yeah. It's not clever. It's
All
not
right.
clever or meaningful. It's just a word that we had, and I use it because I don't want to have to think up. I don't have to think up something I'll regret later. Imagine if I'd called myself like the usual thing of like Crazy Duck Gaming. It's like, ugh, what a
I'm
you
certain there's
know.
a Crazy Duck Gaming out there.
Yeah, there's definitely
Yeah.
there's like so many bad names for presses.
Okay,
And
so
Melsonian Arts Council is Melsonia is just the thing,
sure.
and it's just like an imaginary country that we we just use for
How is
funsies.
this like you at like 6 sitting in the playground like
No, oh
making
god,
okay.
no! This is like me at like 18,
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
just bored. And yeah, and it's like I must stress it is not meaningful or smart. It's just a stupid joke. And then I added Arts Council to it because I was at the time I was annoyed at the Arts Council England for something I don't remember what. So I thought like yeah, fuck it, I'll have my own. So I did,
Yeah,
and
fair.
yeah,
Just a shit post from the very start. Um
yeah, kind of, yeah, yeah.
it's a name that doesn't mean much of anything
Hmm.
and you were angry at the government.
Yeah, yeah. That's like I started as I meant to go on.
Fair,
That
and
is.
you have certainly kept it up. What so okay, so not necessarily just in the name, right? At this point, I was realizing this in the shower. I don't actually know the first time I became aware of like you as an individual or Melsonia as an organization. Like I know there
Hmm.
is a point behind which you're not there. Um,
Hmm.
but then like it's just hazy, and then all of a sudden I feel like you're just fucking everywhere. Um, and I don't like what was that starting point? Like when did you? Is my recollection correct that you just kind of burst onto the scene?
No, God, I wish. I've been hoping for some kind of burst in for ages. So, well, it's like, obviously, all Kickstarters I participate in are brilliant and lovely, but I fucking hate Kickstarter every time. So it is like, right, it's great, it's brilliant, it does whatever it does, yeah. But it's like, I hate it for the same reason I hate gambling. Like, don't give me hope. don't Don't be like, oh, this could be the one. Don't ever do that to me. Just tell me you'll. If you give me £10, I'll give you 20. Just 20, exactly 20. It's like brilliant, fantastic. I love it. I'm happy. Don't be like, if you give me £10, I might give you 11. I might give you 10,000. It's like, fuck off with that. Just fuck off with that completely. Sorry, I hate Kickstarter for that reason. And no, it's never been a burst. I don't think. It's just been a gradual slog for. I mean, I've been doing it for what, like, I mean, depending on how you count doing it, I've been using the name and writing stuff since 2014, I think, with
That sounds
this.
about right.
And then did a bunch of zines because zines are fun. Then I got bored of that, and now other Dan deals with that stuff. Uh,
What so?
oh, there you
What
go.
was that?
There's
What
the
was that
proof.
first book? Real quick,
The
in
first book.
2014.
That, that was just the zines. The
Yeah,
actual
yeah.
first was Fever Swamp, which I think was 2015.
So that I'm pretty sure is when I think seeing Fever Swamp at Gen Con was my first awareness of you, other than just like whispers of like cool zine shit happening. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry to interject. I was
yeah. No,
trying
no,
to
no,
locate it.
no. Yeah, yeah. The Fever Swamp was the first, and that was a direct result of the zine because Luke was like, "Got this article," and I was like, "Luke, this article is too long. We need to make its own thing." So we did, and that was it. So it's
Fair.
Luke's fault, as everything is. That's just that monster,
And yet
fucking Luke Gearing. Ugh.
yet you continue to work with him for
Yeah, I
God knows
know.
what reason.
Well, oh, I mean, like, like, as far as anything's concerned, I made him. All right, everything he does belongs to me now. By publishing Fever Swamp, I therefore lay claim to his all of his future career.
I'm not sure.
You hear that, Luke?
I don't know the UK court system very well, but I don't know
Uh,
how well that'll fly. Um,
it's fine.
it's a touch
I'll fight him.
too close to indentured servitude, I think. Um,
He's free to leave at any point as long as he never writes ever again. It's just there's laws, there's rules, there's a
yeah,
system.
totally.
It's fine. But yeah, yeah. So yeah, zines, then Fever Swamp, and then I kind of no wait. Was it Fever Swamp? Or was it Crimson Dormancy? No, Crimson Dormancy was first. Was it?
Was it?
Whatever. Maybe. Maybe. Probably. Yes, it was.
Okay.
Because I did a Kickstarter for it, and it was like I was like, oh, money. I remember that. And then Fever Swamp did a bit better, and then everything just kind of did a little bit better than everything before.
I mean, I
Um.
think that's what I was more describing when I said burst, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong.
Mhm.
Most people, in my experience, have peaks and valleys in their publishing career, right?
Mhm.
Not everything is like a slam dunk. And certainly, I'm not going to go ahead and be like, yeah, you're making $1 million every Kickstarter you run six a
Mhm.
year. Like, that's not your story. But I do feel like there's been like a progressive rise, if not
Oh
necessarily in like
yeah.
capital earned, like everything you're doing now gets a lot of attention.
Doesn't feel like it. I'd like more. If
Okay.
anyone's listening, I want more, please. Um, but yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like I don't know. Like it's the usual thing, you know. I let's. I mean, let's indulge in the popular stuff. So like, I grew up very poor, so you know the kind of poor where you have sleep for dinner kind of thing.
Sure.
So it just makes you acutely aware of the fall.
Hmm.
So I'm extremely careful with maintaining any ground I take. So
Sure.
that's why the publishing exists. It's why I forced myself to learn how fucking marketing works. God damn it, to hell. But like, yeah, just like, and yeah, so like, I'm very careful to maintain all ground I take, uh, just so that we can continue. Like, we have a reliable thing. Like, things like Quest that just burst out and go, "Hey, give us all the
Sure.
money," and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
they're just like, like, no, that's horrifying. That's gross, evil, nasty. Bleh. I wouldn't want to have anything to do with that from any side at
Sure.
all. I don't care how much money it makes. I can't rely on that be happening twice. I want, I want every pound I make needs to be a pound that will come back every time I do something, kind
Sure.
of in a way. Um, and that's what I
Yeah, I mean, you're
want to do.
constructing an engine builder of money.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. I mean, it's not like a complicated thing. It's like we have like the publishing is based on things I like. My customers are people. So if I just like, here's a thing I like, and they're like, yeah, I like that as well. I'll buy one, and then that's it. It's very simple. But it's like every Kickstarter I get excited, and I really shouldn't. But if you look at like the charts on our Kickstarters,
Sure.
they're slightly different to how, like, let's say Crypto and Dormants and Fever Swamp would have been fairly organic, normal Kickstarters that relying on people coming in.
Yes.
But then ever since then, I've gotten better at, like, organizing my stuff, and it's like all of the money comes in the first few days because I say like, hey everybody, there's a new thing, and then they come along and get it, and then the rest of it's just people who read that email later.
Hmm.
But the kind of like people discovering us doesn't happen like that because we don't you know
So
I
I'm
don't know.
I'm gonna throw something out there.
Yes.
Shoot it down immediately if it sounds wrong to you, but I think there has been a material shift in how organic discovery of new titles and new creators occurs, even in the past 5 years. Um,
In what respect? Do you mean just like on everything, on Kickstarter, on social media,
I think
on?
within our hobby, within our industry, right? I
Yeah.
think there is a I don't quite know how to peg it, but my best guess so far is that when you funneled everybody into essentially one platform, Twitter,
Hmm.
or you have Facebook, you have Reddit, right? But those existed. But when you
Hmm.
took away G plus,
Hmm.
you one caused a flooding, not of necessarily of new people, but you made the existing platforms for discovery denser. And then
Hmm.
you have substantially more people coming in producing things. And so we have just there's not slack anymore in the discoverability process. Um,
Hmm.
when I go in, if I even have like a dim idea of where I should be looking and who I should be following, I'm
Hmm.
bombarded, right? Um, Also, the number of projects on Kickstarter seems to be increasing with no real improvement to like their discoverability algorithm. Um,
Oh, there's a massive Kickstarter bubble going on right now. It's
so
ridiculous.
between the two of those, I'm not even sure how anyone maintains organic discoverability right now.
It doesn't exist. I mean, because the reason why Google Plus was good was because Google were really bad at their jobs, and they didn't monetize it.
Yeah.
So that means that like you discover stuff because it was something that was in your social network. Like, it's like one of the things that was like. pushed me to leave Twitter was that Twitter, from a business or creative position perspective, Twitter's valueless. It's complete
100%.
trash.
Yeah.
It's absolute garbage. Like if anyone thinks that they are making a career based on Twitter engagement, it's complete bollocks.
I'm better served on LinkedIn.
Yeah, it's like Twitter is designed to create just a kind of a cycle of
Mm-hmm.
engagement inside the site. You are in Twitter doing Twitter things for Twitter.
There's
It's not work.
nothing pushing
Don't
out.
Nope. And it suppresses any kind of outward push as well. Like it's
So I
yeah,
will have minor pushback on that.
yeah, sure.
Although, so the circles function of G plus, right? I think without actually having any mechanistic implementation of a similar system within Twitter, something like that has actually emerged. It is not as true within our space, but there are industries and sub industries. So,
Hmm.
like finance Twitter, if you want like a good job in finance, a very reasonable route is to just post your analysis every single day on Twitter. And if you
Hmm.
build up enough followers, eventually like the heads of hedge funds and private equity firms and retail banks will follow you. And when you
Hmm.
apply, that is like absolutely something. I've had friends who have been non-competitive candidates for big power jobs and have had very, very active financial Twitter accounts and gone in and someone went, "Oh my God, it's you. Like I've been following you for 5 years," and got the job off that.
Oh my god, hello cats.
It,
Sorry,
it
I
woke
just
up.
my cat has this thing where like if I have my hands like on my leg, he'll attack them, and just scare the shit out of me. So yeah,
I think something like that does exist in our industry. I never know what to fucking call it. In games, Twitter.
in game. Yeah,
There's
I
a
mean, yeah.
networking effect. It is useful for
Mhm.
that purpose, not for as a direct sales function.
Yes, but once you're in a network, I think abandoning Twitter is a good idea because like
It's
you, I
fair.
mean,
Yeah.
getting in is good. But once you, right, what? Okay, let's put it that way. What Twitter's good for is introductions,
Hmm.
and then afterwards you just abandon that shit.
Yeah, no, it's 0 to 1 Twitter excels at. One
Yeah,
to
yeah, but
everything above it, get the fuck
yeah,
off.
terrible, awful. Just like once you've made your, like, I mean, I was thinking about it, like when I was debating, it's like, why am I doing Twitter? Because like, I mean, obviously, if I don't know if we covered it, but like, I'm off Twitter now,
Yeah,
so
congrats.
fuck that place. But yeah, I was like, there's that thing that because I was looking set up like I was looking at my Google Analytic things because I
Hmm.
was like, I've been doing Facebook stuff, adverts and shit for a year now. And I'm like, oh, fine, I'll
Got
do
get the
Google. I'll do Google.
Facebook Business Suite app right there.
Oh yeah, there
Yeah.
we go. But like I thought, like, oh, it's time to do Google. Oh, fine. So I looked at my old analytics stuff, and like I was looking at like where all my customers and sales and all that comes from.
Hmm.
Twitter's like 2%.
Oh
Twitter
yeah,
can go to hell.
yeah.
Twitter's rubbish
I have no
and
no referrals, no site traffic coming through there. Nothing.
trash. Google, Twitter, whatever.
Twitter. Yeah.
Bad. Not good for that. So like yeah, so I was obviously deceiving myself, thinking like, oh, this is good. And I've not met anyone new and cool to work with other than Jared, but don't tell
Sure.
him that.
He's.
I've
I'm
not met anyone that
definitely.
I've like.
I'm gonna add Jared in our Discord like
Yeah,
as
yeah,
soon
yeah.
as this is over, just so you know.
I think Jared is the only person that I have like regular work contact with that is from Twitter only.
Sure.
That's it. Everyone else is people I already knew or I know through people I know, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a waste of energy.
I think I'm for the type of work. That's not the right way to put it. For the type of engagement I try to have with the community, it works very very well for me. But I've
Mm,
never tried to actually monetize the production of games. Um,
mm,
or when I have, it was very early, and so it was
yeah.
2014 Twitter. Um,
Oh yeah. Right. Back when it was growing.
back when like games Twitter was not a foregone conclusion,
Mm-hmm.
and I got my start again 0 to 1.
Mm.
I got my start by tweeting at someone endlessly.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it is a very, I love the pain of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sober coming up 8 years now. I am still an
Mm-hmm.
inveterate chain smoker, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, you gotta get your kick somehow when you're a masochist, and Twitter does it for
Yeah.
me. Um,
No, actually, that's the thing. I hate it. I hate strangers coming up to me, like someone, like say, like if I'm talking to someone at a bus stop and someone says like has an opinion on what I'm saying, it's like fuck off,
wow,
leave me
buddy,
alone.
you picked the wrong business.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the thing. Like and the problem is I care far too much about when someone comes to me and says like I'm upset with you, I feel bad. And that's really bad for Twitter because
Oh,
everyone on there's a fucking maniac.
yeah.
I mean, but I'm coming to that realization. It's like when you you know that thing when you have like a really horrible divorce, and then afterwards you're like, oh god, she or he or whatever was like a monster. What have they done to me? Like I've my I have to unlearn everything I learned from these people. And that's what Twitter feels like to me and everyone on it.
That's
They've
fair.
I feel brutalized.
Yeah,
just just emotionally brutalized by them. They're crazy.
yeah. No, I mean,
Um
I have no disagreement with anything you're saying. Yeah,
and I just need to move away from it.
I mean,
And
so
I'm go back to
where does
how it
that
was
lead you
before.
to? Like, what do you do now?
Oh, I just do my work. I've always done. Like Twitter's just like. Do you mean like do as in like socially, or just do
Yeah, I
as
mean,
in like
so
with my time?
partially socially, as you said, you haven't really had work interactions with many people, but through Twitter. I mean, not just broadly.
Mm-hmm.
Have you redirected the time that you had spent on Twitter toward another platform? Do you find yourself engaging with Discord more?
No,
Okay, fair.
no, I've got a really good relationship with Discord in that I don't check it, and then like my designated contacts will say, Dan, you need to check your fucking Discord, or you have an email, and I'm like, ugh, fine, and then I do it. Usually it'll be Jared or other Dan will say you need to look at this, and then in a week or two I will, and then it'll get dealt with. I imagine it's
It's the most laissez-faire way because I'm sure like these are work issues, right? Like
yeah
not
yeah yeah yeah
everyone.
yeah. There's all kinds of stuff. I mean, but it's like the thing. What was it? I think it was like a thing from one of the Terry Pratchett novels. It was like it's like a hard of hearing general or something. It was like he enjoyed being hard of hearing because then he couldn't like he would just like if something was important enough, they'd put the effort in for him to hear it. Like say it enough times so he pays attention. Because I mean, and if they don't do it, then it's obviously not that important. And that works. It's how I maintain my sanity.
It's actually
But
really
it's
close. I
like
mean, you're
strong.
no, I mean you're in some ways, not all. You're replicating the function of an executive assistant. You have through your
I don't
inattention.
pay him enough.
Yeah,
I don't pay anyone enough to be an executive assistant.
but you're replicating that function of just like a barrier. Like you want to talk to the
Yeah,
boss,
yeah.
you just gotta keep trying. Um,
Yeah, I mean, people have my email address, and they already know that. See, that's worse than contacting one of the people who talk to me directly. It's like I do not
you
check it. Like if I don't recognize it, I'll be like,
you got back to
next.
me very fast, so I
I
can't.
recognize your name though, so that's
That's
the
fair.
thing.
All right,
I know you. You already through the barrier, but
I got in.
everything else is just like, and then like, and every couple of months I'll be like, Mark Wallace read, archive. Let's start again, and
Wow, yeah. I last I checked, I have 9,000 unread emails going back to 2008.
nice.
So very different.
I'm just, yeah. It's a way to deal with just anxiety. It's like I said, like I really do unhealthily care about and kind of trust people when they come to me and they're angry or sad. and really, that's not a good way to exist online. I don't think
I mean,
it's a good way to exist in life outside, but online, I
sometimes.
don't trust anyone. I don't. No, I mean, I think I've had this conversation with people before, like some because occasionally I'll get screwed over
Mhm.
because of my laissez-faire attitude, but the way I like where I say it to everyone is like, you can't be doing this. You can't be like, oh, when someone like when I'm like 500 down from some bullshit thing. I'm like, I have probably made more money and more like friends and opportunities by being nice than I've lost by someone screwing me over once, because it's not like they're going to do it twice, are they? So I'm fine with being nice, with being, but online you don't have that kind of you don't have a good level of feedback to know
Sure.
what's going on.
Yeah, no, I
So
mean, it's something I'm going to be very interested to see. I think it's going to be incredibly bad, but there is a point in the future where I suspect the function of social media will have transferred to a perhaps VR, perhaps AR format. Um,
mm,
and I do wonder if reintroducing the element of like being able to read physical body language and all the other elements
mm.
of communication that you're missing in text only, how that's going to merge with like shitpost culture of the internet and rage culture of the internet. Um,
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like you just turn everything into a call center kind of thing. Just everyone just furious at all times.
See, I think it would turn everything into somewhere between a call center and a convention. Um,
That sounds like two of my least favorite things.
Fair, yeah.
Like I don't like conventions either, because you get that thing, when like someone's talking to you and they're kind of, this sounds a bit rehearsed or a bit kind of
Mm-hmm.
performative, like they're talking to something else, some other kind of
Sure.
thing, and then they'll come up to you and like, what's going on? What is this? Explain to me this. Like when they come to your table and they have this like whole spiel started, like, just tell me what you want. Start with your objective, and then we'll talk.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like the convention equivalent of like of like selling encyclopedias. Have you ever felt like stupid in front of your friends? Well, it's like, no, just what do you want? Just tell me. I can only smile and laugh politely so much.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
said it.
that's
I
kind of
said it before about something else related, but I'll say it again, dude. You went into the wrong business.
no. See, this because that's the thing, right? Everything around me is to serve my work. Like my work is my writing, which I like,
Sure.
um, which I is what I care about. Like the publishing is just is another layer to keep everyone away from me. Um, like
So
I
you're just kind
publish
of like
other.
minimizing yourself until you no longer have to do any. Like, is your goal to essentially like hire eventually someone to do all of that and just take you out of it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I am like I have. Like I hire people because I don't want to do anything of this. I don't want anything to. All I want is to be a benign despot. I want to be able to walk in and say no, 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 no. Get rid of that. Okay, I'm gone. Just in case. Not that I would. It's like I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to be. I don't want to just say no to things.
Mm-hmm.
I just want the ability to say like no, shut it down, shut it down. This is boo 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 boo. So and that's it. And otherwise, I'd be happy for people to just carry on with what they're doing. Just make stuff, publish things, just send me the bills. It's cool. And I'll just do my thing. You do yours. As long as the money is like not going down, then that's whatever. It's good. It's great. Brilliant. Fantastic.
I mean, that
Um,
sounds amazing. Like, I have no real response other than like, yeah, I would like that too.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. But like, it's like this, one of the other thoughts one of the other invasive thoughts I have about Twitter is like one day someone's going to be like, oh, they're so such gatekeepers. They only hire people they like. It's like, yeah, no shit. Like, why would I hire someone I don't like? That's insane.
Yeah.
And Melsonian is very much, when it boils way down to it, is me. It's like I've got to be, I got to trust someone, because like with the way we function is such a mess. Like unless I trust you to not be a shit, Like, I can't work with you. Like, not even just like I refuse to. It's like, I can't. I physically can't. Like, if you like, you need to work how I work, or else this is just not going to happen for either of us. And that's great. It works really well with most people.
How
I
so?
think.
How do you work? I think that's the next question. Like, I
Um,
have no intention and no desire to work with you whatsoever. I don't want to make games, but like, I'm interested. How
yeah,
do
yeah.
you work?
Like on what level? Just like
I mean,
in a
as you
day, or just
no,
in?
as you just said, what if somebody needs to be on your level from a like operations and functional
Oh, if
standpoint?
someone wants to do what I do, I guess if someone wants to be me and like
Yeah,
do the exact thing the exact way I do it,
if you were
and
replacing yourself,
yeah.
what are the things you'd need to find in an individual to
Oh, so
replace you?
if I all right, so not someone that wants to come up, because coming up the same way I did is crazy. Don't do that. But if I was going to make a replacement that
Hmm.
I could trust to be the same as me, okay, so firstly, it is you have to feel like you do nothing while also doing basically everything. It's like if I was like a building material, I'd be mortar, you know,
Sure.
very unglamorous. It's just like, oh, there's a gap here, yeah, fucking slap it on. That's my job.
Okay.
That's what I do. But what I'm trying to, so I have a project manager, I
Hmm.
have art director, I have a Jared, um, I have other Dan who does, other Dan stuff. But like Jared and other Dan do Jared and other Dan stuff. It's kind of like they're the, I suppose, like you said, although I will deny it in court, the executive assistant kind of thing. Yep, but they're not. Obviously, I deny it. Uh, um, so yeah, yeah, there's them. And then there's just like, and then like the I mean, Jared. You spoke to Jared. Jared does my
I
project
speak to
management.
Jared most days of the week.
No, Jared.
Oh, yes.
We need. I have suggested they change their names, but I think my power's not so great yet. Um, it's just yeah. So like Jared,
Okay.
I mean, like him and they have all kinds of people they work with themselves,
Hmm.
and I don't have anything to do with any of that. Oh, I seem to have frozen. Are you still there?
I'm still here. Can you hear me? And I can also see you.
Oh no.
So on your end, you might be frozen.
Oh, there you go. It's
Yeah.
just probably just my internet took a moment. Yeah. So there's them. They have people they work with. It's a feudal system. There you go. So that's the way to
Sure.
describe it. It's a
Everyone
feudal
has their
system.
own little fiefdoms, and you just kind of pass the dictums down, and they
Yeah,
get the shit done. So long as
yeah.
the
Because it's
grain and the
all
coin filters back up, it's all
as
good.
long as I control the windmills, it's all good. Um,
Render, enter, like sell.
yeah.
Yeah.
What is sells? Which is enough money to live and pay everyone.
Sure.
That's it. That's what I want.
You still haven't
Yeah.
actually
So,
answered what you'd functionally do.
oh well, I do all the marketing, which I mean, yeah, which unfortunately I'm quite good at. Which is like, I don't when I say marketing, I mean real marketing. I don't mean like social media bullshit.
Sure.
Whatever.
What, like,
And when I say social media bullshit, I mean I do. It is social media bullshit, but I pay for it so that the social media works for me
sure,
rather
so
than
it's
against me.
still, digital advertising through.
Yep, there's just Facebook stuff, googly stuff occasionally. Sometimes I deal with like more bespoke, direct things with conventions or
Sure.
stuff. This is bits and bobs, things,
Direct
marketing stuff,
mailers.
nothing. Yes, just going door to door, everything, just
Okay.
all that kind of stuff. And I do all the convention stuff, which I also hate. I guess I do a lot of the I mean less and less, but I was doing a lot of the scouting for people and things. But now it's more people just kind of turn up through people, which
Sure.
is great. Um and what else do I do?
So are you primarily a sales and marketing function right now? Within
Uh
Melsonia, not necessarily
Within
like.
Melsonia, yeah, I guess. I mean, although I have recently offloaded most of my sales to a fulfillment warehouse, which is pretty good. That still requires some work. It's really good. Like I'm getting to that point now where I have the time to do what I need to do. I'm pretty much only doing marketing. Like I am getting down to kind of the core of what must be done. Like
Sure.
I'm now managing the things that must be done correctly and well. Because like with the publishing and all that kind of stuff, you can be sloppy
Yeah.
and late and bad at it and then fix it. But keeping the money flowing is essential.
Hmm.
So I manage that.
You don't want to take the
That
big hit of, you send the wrong files to the printer and they print the spine with the wrong title or
Oh yeah, I
something.
do that as well. Obviously, I do the printing stuff.
Sure.
Oh. There's that. And then I do I do everything that crops up that is not specifically something that someone else is already paid to deal with. So it's just
Okay.
like things
Sure.
I do. I'm a dog's body, not
Hmm.
dog's body, and marketing person and finances, I guess. All I mean, these are all things I still want to not do.
Sure.
Um, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't mean to like drill you on this. It's just
Hmm.
I don't think I actually had a real tangible concept of what you did day in and day out at Melsonian.
Oh, it's very deliberate. We like see that's part of the joke of Melsonia from the very beginning because we used it for like all sorts of stuff, like mostly to like for little any game we played, we'd just be like Melsonia. Um, but the whole point of Melsonia has always been to appear to be way more competent and good at things than you actually are.
Sure.
Just like we've always been pretty good at presenting a nice front. I think that's important. Like, I don't want people knowing my business. Like, I've been poor enough long enough to know that you don't want anyone knowing too much. Like, just that can only cause trouble.
That's a.
So
I
yeah.
don't disagree. It's also a deeply paranoid way to live for a business owner. Um,
Yeah, it's fine. We're all above board. It's just we're not above board with the public because what benefit would we ever get from the public knowing anything about our
no,
our stuff? They'll either be dicks or no, that's it. Yeah, dicks.
that's
They'll be
pretty much
dicks.
it. Yeah, they'll be dicks,
Yeah.
or they won't care.
Oh, because there was right because it came up before, right? My
Mm-hmm.
whole like being poor thing,
Mm-hmm.
and some motherfucker translated me being on government benefits as being supported by the government to found their business. It's like
Oh, I remember this.
you you can get fucked. Like if they had said that in my presence, that is one of the see. Like I'm quite conflict averse, but I will go for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you start a conversation, I will fucking end you.
Mm-hmm.
I will like screw the decorum. I will happily be cancelled over that. My God, like I would hang you outside of my house, just pinned to my wall. It's like please do not come at me over this unless you're going to be like on my side because I'm
Mm-hmm.
not here for it.
Yeah,
But
that
yeah, other than
was.
that, I'm pretty chilled.
Yeah,
other
no.
than that,
You
other than that,
you have always been an adept shit poster, but you were never much of a rage poster. So yes,
nah, I don't like. I'm grumpy all the time, but it's like
grumpy and angry are
just
different.
yeah. I'm not angry. I don't think I'm angry about stuff. Yeah, yeah, I don't like being angry. That's the thing. It's like the same reason why like I don't drink. I don't like feeling like because drinking makes you kind of sad after you get the kind of the sads.
Unless it's tequila.
Yeah, but I mean that's awful. I mean, I
Yeah.
just, I don't like that feeling. And also like I like things to be reproducible, so like you can't be sure you're gonna have a good time, and you can end badly, and just
Sure.
why would I gamble on that? I can't remember what my point was, but yeah, there you go. It's in there somewhere.
So reproducibility, right? Something that's come
Hmm.
up a bunch of times already in the past 40
Hmm.
minutes. You say, and I'm not doubting that it, at least as I understood it, comes primarily from growing up in poverty.
Hmm.
Um, I did not grow up in poverty, but basically every generation above me did. Like my generation and my family is the first one to not be like basically pig shit farmers.
Hmm.
Um, and weirdly, I am much more into reproducibility than almost any of them.
Mm,
So I'm wondering, like, I could see the case for it being directly related to growing up impoverished, but at the same
mm.
time, right, like, where else might that have cropped up for you? Because it does seem to be like a fairly driving factor in your life.
I just want things to be like reliable. I think I just because I'm not like this doesn't come from my family. My family are terrible. Like, they just can't keep their shit together at all. So like it's not like I've been trained by wily gutter people or
Sure.
anything. It's just like um how can I not be like everyone I grew up with?
Sure.
Like, and that is like you need to, like, every time when you do when you do something good or a good thing happens, you keep it. You keep that good thing, and then you do more. You make more good decisions, and every fucking inch you take, you keep it. And I mean, that's good. And I mean, yeah, and like, and you don't. You don't grab wildly, but you grab, confidently. You just, like, take a little step, little step, little step, keep. And that way you don't fall backwards, because
Sure.
I think the poverty thing is because you need to know that there is no safety net. Like,
Sure.
if you fail,
That's
then
it.
you're back. You're done. There's no mummy and daddy gonna help you in any way. It's like I probably have, like, right now. I've got I've probably got like 20 grand in the bank, and that's mostly business money,
Hmm.
and that's more money than both my parents have put together. That's like that's more than most of
Yeah.
my family, and that's pretty sad. So like if I fail, that's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing. So it's just practical, I think.
So you put it
Uh,
in, taking the next step confidently, but without, but carefully enough to not
Not
backslide,
grabbing.
right?
Yeah.
I think is an apt metaphor.
Hmm.
How do you identify the next step?
Oh, it's entirely based on gut. Another reason why I hated Twitter, because it made me doubt myself a lot. I think it's like is it, I feel it's important that I go on how my instinctive kind of feeling with things are.
Sure.
Like, if a book turns up and I'm like, then that's a no. If I don't feel like, oh, this is cool, then it's not good. If I'm worried about something, then that's probably a bad thing. If a decision comes, if someone says like, oh, we can do this, this is an opportunity, and I'm like, yeah, then but I just don't do it.
Yeah.
If someone comes in, I'm like, that's awesome, we're going to do that. So I just go with that.
Fair.
It's entirely based on my mystical talents to like yes, everything is based on my taste. That is it. It is entirely not reproducible for someone who's not me to do exactly what I'm doing. They do their own thing, obviously. That's probably
Sure.
more successful. I'm just saying, to do exactly me. So to make a replacement for me, I would need to train them in what
Going
I
back,
like.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, and I'm certainly not saying like Melsonia is not making hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Nobody's under that impression. But like,
Not yet.
not yet. Yeah, fingers crossed. Eat the
Yeah.
entirety of Hasbro.
Oh
Hasbro, a
God, yeah.
Melsonia company. Um,
Maybe just a bit. Maybe just a bit. I don't
but
want to. Can you imagine the paperwork? Anyway, carry on.
no,
Sorry.
I literally can't and don't want to. Whole
Yeah.
legal teams would be hired for that. But when you look at like people at the top of really really big companies, there tends to, however much we like deride it popularly, there tends to be someone who's essentially in a tastemaker role,
Mm,
or a winds change role, like just figuring out what the next thing is on gut feeling
mm.
is one of the hardest jobs to actually do consistently well, and it tends to be fairly well rewarded when it is.
Well, I mean, it's like, right. So this kind of comes down to like when people say I'm nice, I get annoyed, or anything like that. It's because, like, for you to, like, you need a point of reference. Like, if you're not brave by going to the dentist if you're not scared of dentists, are you?
Sure. No.
That's not brave. That's just like, I'm just going to the dentist. Just because you're scared of them doesn't mean I'm brave.
Yes.
It's like, you're only nice if you're actually an asshole. Like, I'm just like, so like having taste or whatever. It's not like it's not something, you know. I'm not trying. It's just like what it is.
Well, that's right.
For
Like,
good or bad.
there are people who try to have taste and generally are not very good at actually having it, right? And I
Mm.
think we also make a conflation that we shouldn't of like taste is good or like having good taste indicates like good quality of something.
Oh no,
No,
it's a point. It's just
yeah, but like
it's a specific point in a spectrum of stuff. Like it's like I mean the reason why you can't try to have you have a taste. You don't have the taste, I guess, is what I'm saying.
well,
There you go.
there is no the taste, but there very much is a the taste of the buying populace right now.
Mm. Oh yeah, we definitely don't have that. We have
Well, I mean,
is it right?
that's the thing is
Go on.
you can say that, and sure, you don't have the taste of the buying populace of the 5e community or the broader trad
Mm.
community, right? I don't know that you're pulling anybody who's been playing Call of Cthulhu since like the 1980s. That's not your market. But within
Mm.
your market, I'm calling hard fucking bullshit if you don't think you have a good eye for where things are headed.
I mean, I've never thought about it that way. Like if things went in a different direction to where I think they're headed, I'd still be doing exactly what I want to do.
Exactly.
Um, like so, it's not like I mean, I'm
But
again with the
that's
feudalism thing, I am like a king. I am tied to my country.
yeah,
Like I
no.
cannot leave. If you burn this place down, I go down with it.
And again, right? Like
Um,
there's a distinction between a taste maker and I don't want to say a taste follower because that's also not right because it's not you
taste
are
haver.
not yeah a kind of a taste haver, right? It's not that you're
Yeah.
setting what is cool for the indie market, though
Mm.
certainly Troika has done that in some ways. I don't think it was an intentional decision on your part. um,
Mm.
so it's not that you're actively manipulating where this thing is, but you have consistently released products that you had been working on because it takes a while to build a book that
Mm.
release into usually the early stages of what becomes cool in the next quarter, right? And that is a
Yeah.
legitimate skill, knowing even if you don't it's not that you're doing, market research, right? But to have an agreement internal
Mm.
that just says, "Oh yeah, I like that shit." And that translates consistently to the buying audience likes that shit and they don't know it yet because you're the first one to start on it.
Yeah.
That's a skill. That's a generally in the world a highly
Yes.
rewarded skill.
It's alchemy is what it is. I'm
Kind of.
just I'm just yeah, it's just it's just a you know, in a very literal way, it's like the laissez-faire is not so much a lack of control, it's more of a willingness to allow what do you call it? Let's call it the the astral light of roleplay games to just permeate my being.
you,
It's just
you
it
are
is
more in
because like
tune with the collective unconscious of the hobby.
yes. See, the thing is as well, like I'm sure I've shitposted about it before. That is absolutely what I fully believe. Not about the hobby. I don't give a shit about the
Sure.
hobby. I just mean like whatever it is I'm doing. Right. Another way, better way is I am following my flow, and I'm very confident in my own like on in who I am, what I want to make,
Mm-hmm.
what I create, the change I hope to see through the act of creation. I'm very confident with what I do. It's like with Troika, like when people say bad things about Troika, I don't care because Troika is exactly what it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I mean if someone doesn't like it, I don't feel hurt by it. It's not
Sure.
like fuck you, I'll fight you over it. It's like whatever, I don't care. It's like it is. I confidently feel it is exactly what it was supposed to be. Thumbs up, great, brilliant. And everything that I finish is that it's exactly what it's supposed to be. That's but that's I mean that's more the writing side. But with the publishing stuff as well, the same thing. That's why I follow that gut feeling is because um it's like even if you don't, even if you're not a spiritual or mystical kind of person, the people like your gut exists for a reason.
Hmm.
Like there's a reason you can like there's a reason why you can see a little tiny beetle in your house. You don't see anything else. You see the little beetle on the floor. It's because your instincts can see that thing. You are primed for this. Your gut speaks to you better than you sitting there and thinking, well, this is good in the past and this is good in the future. It's like follow that. Your gut is saying something. You need to get good at interpreting your gut. Like you need to know like when your gut is just sleepy or hungry.
Hmm.
But like if you as long as you can filter that well, then you can be your most self, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all of it.
Mm.
I don't know that you give yourself enough credit, and frankly, I don't even think that it is
I mean,
credit you should give your. No,
I'll
not
make
just
you.
not
I can
broadly,
make.
right? You give yourself plenty of credit in general. That's
Yeah.
not the issue. In a very specific way, which is like lots of people are authentic, right? Not the majority, I
Hmm.
would argue, not even a strong minority of people, but globally, a lot of people are authentic to their true
Hmm.
selves, however we're defining that. Most of those people, when they are authentic to their true selves, that does not necessarily drive very well with the way their industry is headed. It
Mm.
is it is a very happy happenstance, and in this regard, I don't think you give yourself enough credit that being your authentic self has
Mm.
consistently for like 6 years now been a like if I could have at any point I would treat your authentic self as a leading indicator of the industry in many
Mm.
ways.
Oh, I agree. It's like other Dan, right, gets annoyed with me constantly. Oh, also my partner that they make fun of me that like it's like that Adventure Time thing. If you I don't know if you remember that little like the animal in the maze who has approximate knowledge of all
Hmm.
things. That's me.
Hmm.
I it's like I mean I've joked with Jared before, and obviously I never said it in public because people would moan at me, but whenever anyone gets like cancelled or
Hmm.
unmasked or whatever bullshit they're going about, I called it.
Hmm.
I called it 6 months ago. I mean it's not like magic. I mean people do that, but like I'm really good at it. Like
Hmm. Yeah.
like if I don't like someone, you should probably ostracize them.
Hmm.
Just saying. Like I could give you a list. Like these are the people
I'll
to
throw that in the
not
show notes
yeah, just like this is a list of people you should not have dealings with because they are dangerous.
because Dan feels
So
weird.
yeah, Dan's got a weird thing. I'm like a like a dog, like a spooky cat. That's what I am. You know, I watch the ghost walk down the stairs, and everyone should pay attention to me doing it.
I mean, on that note,
um,
what are you looking at the next 6 months? What's your gut telling you?
Next 6 months. In what regard? Like
Whatever it's telling you.
what's going to happen? Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I suppose like Twitter's on the way out. Apparently, I'll say that. Um, I mean, I like right. Assuming I'm an oracle, right,
Hmm.
which we are. Twitter's on the way out, and since I dumped it from what I've heard, there are quite a few people you know that on Twitter you got the people who actually do stuff and the people who just talk a lot.
Hmm.
The people who actually do stuff are largely moving away,
Hmm.
um, which is great because then the rest of them can fucking drown. And says that. Um, and what else? What else? What else? What else am I talking about? I mean, I'm just going by what I want to do because I don't know what's
Yeah.
going to happen. I just know what I want
No,
to do.
I
So
mean
there's that.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
asking, right? Like, what if we are
Ah.
treating not your thought process as oracular,
Mhm.
but your gut feeling about what is exciting to you
Mhm.
and interesting to you as oracular, and then we are then
Mhm.
reading the tea leaves of your gut feeling, right?
Mm. Oh,
What's the
big
gut
books,
feeling?
big books, big
Big
books are on
books.
the way in. Yeah, yeah. Like, like I mean, I know I joke and everyone else jokes about my writing, but like I've got like in during the pandemic, I finished Gnosis basically. It's the book I was intending to put out with Troika, but then it just kept growing in magnitude.
Hmm.
Now it's just this gigantic like what was it? I worked. Fuck, I can't remember what book of the Bible it's the same size as, but it's one of them. Um, and it's quite large. It's just like I think big books. But the things that excite me when I see them is large books, big things like
Or like big
continued.
product, like
No, no, just like
coffee
a
table
lot. Like
books.
no, 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 no. Coffee table books are bollocks. I mean, like they tried. They tried to have their moment and they failed, which is great because they're dumb. Um, but I mean, meaty things, something that you read and you read and you read and you read, and it's just like, and it has a presence. Because for a long time, and I've never been a fan of it. Is has this oh, just try to diminish, hide away, kill the book, kill the author. Like, why read it then? I can do that on my own. Um, you want something like I want something that comes to me and it goes, read me, you fuck, and do exactly what I tell you, and then I can go no, and that's great.
Can I get
And
an
you're like,
example in the game space? Like in role
no,
playing
games are
game.
terrible in
Okay,
general.
they don't have anything like that. All right.
They're just I mean, something that's big and tells you, "Fuck you, do this." No, not really. I guess like there's a few things that like accidentally. I'm not saying. I mean, accidentally. Like, obviously, their purpose was not to do that.
Sure.
Like, like Pendragon has that ridiculous, gigantic campaign,
Yeah, the Great Pendragon campaign.
the Great Pendragon. That, like, I read it and I'm like, absolutely not. And that was brilliant. I really love that book. It's inspiring because you
Okay.
read it and you go, no, never, no, 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 that's stupid, crazy. I like that. Oh no, and that's fantastic. And like the book is just really inspiring in that it steps up to you and like, what are you going to do? And then you got to tell it. This
So
is
is
what I'm
this
going to do.
like Masks of Nyarlathotep, right? Like a campaign that takes a full year to play, and you're just like, I
Oh, I
want
mean,
no part of it.
maybe. I mean, I don't know. But I hate those big campaign things. I mean, I'm more like a book that's like. I mean, because like the Great Pendragon doesn't feel like that because it's like the Great Pendragon is more like some kind of occult textbook. It's just like
Yeah.
it's not really very
No, that's fair.
helpful. Mask of Nyarlathotep is just like, and this time we're going to have
Yeah,
this
it
fun,
is.
and
It's
it's like,
much
oh,
more straightforward and kind of traditional
boring.
campaign
Like
writing.
I don't need to enter this work at all. I just need to run it. It's like, oh, just put it on a tape.
Okay,
Just watch
so
TV.
when we're saying big, it really isn't necessarily about the well, it's one not about the product form size, and it's also not necessarily about the thickness physical. It's big as in dense.
Big as in it has like I mean not necessarily dense, it just needs like I don't know, right? So like I've been helping my partner with their little bookshop thing. So I've been helping with the buying and
Sure.
stuff. And it's just like a thing that I notice with like the comic publishers I like
Hmm.
is they have a very I think the prevailing taste in roleplay games is bad. I think it's really bad. I think it's generally cowardly,
Among
and
who?
just everything
Okay,
in general, just all of it.
buyers, producers.
Like people who are making. No, I mean like games that are getting made is
Okay,
generally quite cowardly and allows the outside in too much. Like
okay,
everyone making roleplay games is allowing the 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 people in. Not the universe is good. Let the universe in, keep the people out.
okay.
Um, and they're not doing that in general. Like people are playing to the gallery. Is that what you say?
I mean,
Maybe.
you're just like basically producing something for kind of the lowest common denominator audience.
No, I think that's unfair because people are trying not to, but it's not. I mean, they're not doing it. I don't think people are doing it on purpose, but I think people don't. Um, like another thing. Silence, Tofu. We'll get to you later. Um, it's like it's like the egregore thing, you know. I was joking about that many times, but like it is. Like role play games, and I think online kind of popular culture is in that kind of egregore. This you can go any way you like as long as it is one of these ways,
Sure.
and they are picking one when they should be, jumping up on the wall and just skipping across it. And I'm not saying I'm brilliant at it. I'm just
Sure.
saying that I see that there are walls, and I try to focus on you know
Walking through them.
walking through them as best I can. You're just aligning myself perfectly to just go shoot. Um, yeah, and I think, and also like another thing, just like what another thing that like online game discussion is just it's all dealing with the most outward layer of creating things
Okay, so
as well.
dense might not be the right word then, but
It's
obtuse, obfuscated.
I don't know, like if it's like artists just talking about like what brand of paint they buy. It's like, oh, how big is your brush? It's like I don't care. No one. It's like it's just that's not talking about painting. Talking about what paint you buy, which oils do you use, which how many bristles on your brush. It's like I don't care. Shut up.
I mean, an ungenerous interpretation of what you're saying is that the focus is on craft rather than art.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's yeah, yeah. In a way, yeah. But it's I don't doubt that people are incredibly sincere of it, and people are doing good work. I just
Well, I mean, again, right? It's the question wasn't what gets people interested that doesn't get you interested. It was what gets you interested regardless of other people.
oh yeah, I think like I there are things that are close. I think ZXU is gonna do something really like
Interesting.
great. I think he has that in him. I'm not saying I'm not saying like he has potential. I just mean I think
That kid's
something is
gonna
going
go
to emerge.
places.
No, like Zedek's brilliant. He's already brilliant, but I think like something's gonna come out of him that's just gonna just be amazing. Um, like not amazing as in it's great because all of his stuff is amazing. I mean, amazing as in it's just like everyone's going to appreciate it. It's going to be like, oh my god. Also, Break is probably going to be a big deal as well.
Is Break actually ever coming out?
I don't know.
That's
If it did, I think it is what I'm talking about. I don't know anything about Break. I don't read
yeah.
unfinished things because it stresses me out. But like it's going to be like uh like to be clear, I have good relationships with them.
Mhm.
I think with Break, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. To be honest, it's going to be a thing that they wanted to do, and it's going to be that exactly that, and that is what needs to be done.
Okay,
They
so
are doing a thing.
there we go. So it's commitment to the bit fundamentally.
Yeah, do the bit. Like do the bit. Like if like compromising your bit
Whatever the
is
bit is, just commit to
yeah,
it fully.
just commit to like I mean that's why that's another reason why like I mean again getting annoyed with social media is they are really nosy.
Sure.
Like they just want to be, they want to get their awe in on everything, and it's just like it's like if my thing is good or bad or nice or evil, then that's just what it is, and
Hmm.
hate or love me for it.
Sure.
Just that's it. That's what it is, and that's fine. But to have that attitude, you need to make things that you believe in, I guess, because otherwise, you know.
Okay. I think we finally hit an oracular statement that I can get behind,
Hmm.
which is the trend in the future is a further commitment to the bit. Um,
Yeah, and also I mean, I hope there is a splintering because I want. It's like I have not read a roleplay game thing that I've looked at and gone, "Ah, oh, you bastards, this is really good," in a long time. Which is an entirely subjective opinion.
sure.
Blah blah
Yeah.
blah.
Whatever. If anyone comes
Whatever.
for you
Like,
for some shit like
yeah,
that, then they're
they
watching
fucking
the wrong
can't
show.
because they got to get through other Dan or Jared, and those two know not to bother me with that shit.
Yeah.
So good fucking luck to you. I will not be reading the comments on this video.
I get like
um,
at most, I think I get an average of like 0.1 comment per video because like it's like one
hey,
comment every 10 videos. Thank God.
oh thank
Um,
God for that. But like, yeah, it's
no,
just
largely the same, right? I there was a time in recent memory where
yeah,
it felt like every week I was fucking hype about some
yeah.
shit. Some new
Mhm.
shit, some new designer, and just anything, some piece of art that just hit me. And I don't know if
Mm.
it's pandemic, I don't know if it's that my depression is largely untreated and that I just
Hmm.
have in the fucking dumps for ages. I don't know if
Mm.
it's actually a reflection of the material conditions of the space or what. Um, I kind of think I'm just saturated.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel saturation's good because then something needs to work way harder to get in. Like when
Mm-hmm.
I find something new, when I'm like reading something new, I'm always very suspicious of things I get excited about because like I don't have
Sure.
that foundation yet. Like I've been like during the pandemic, I've been reading a lot of occult stuff, so I've been quite critical of what I've been reading and going back on stuff and figuring out what things are like really solid, what things are really dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know that at first, but then like a kind of a taste emerges from it, and you can start reading more efficiently. You can like you can spot a book that's going to be good for you.
Sure.
But with role play games, you can just tell from looking at them like what they're going to be. Like Vault of Varn is good. There you go. There's one. I
Varn's
liked
great.
that. Yeah, yeah. Vault of Varn was good. That's my best. I say best only book of the last. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm sure other people have done something, but
It's just
Vault One's
hard.
pretty
It's
great.
hard to keep up.
Like, and that's the other thing as well. Like, it's like with TV in general. Like, I'm insufferable for watching films with,
Mm-hmm.
a total prick. But it's like if I watch a film, I don't care if a film is good or bad, but if it's exactly what they were going for,
Mm-hmm.
then it's just going to be enjoyable. It's like people are like, oh, I like bad movies. No, you don't like bad movies. You like movies people really care about. Is
Mm-hmm.
what you do.
Yeah.
Like a B movie is something that someone gave a shit about. Marvel, not a single person gave two shits about that turd.
Yeah.
Like it's awful, a waste of time. Just like why? Oh my god, I hate them. Just as a
I'd
concept.
be
I mean,
very. I'd be
and the
very
comics
interested
they
to
came
see.
from.
Yeah, I mean, at least for the past very long time. I'd be very interested to know if you end up watching either of the director's cuts that HBO released of the of Batman versus Superman and Justice
Oh,
League.
absolutely, absolutely not.
See, that's the thing is like of all, and this is especially true of Justice League.
Yeah.
Everything that I can say about that movie is fundamentally eclipsed by one statement, which is
Mm.
at heart that movie is a thorough commitment to the bit.
Yeah, I mean, it might be, but I feel just like everything and everyone involved is just horribly compromised. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think anything from Hollywood is capable of being interesting.
Wow, that is a statement and a half.
It's exhausting. They're exhausting. Their films are exhausting. They're all just like, ugh, I don't know. It's just, I know the film that they are making. They're gonna have something in it. Just it'll have the same kind of Protestant kind of morality. The people will get punished. The military's really cool, and some other shit. The usual stuff. It's just like it's a Hollywood film. It's going to be the same thing. It's not going to be super interesting. It's just
So maybe I'll get there eventually. That's it's maybe about 75% more jaded than I tend to attain. Like I do firmly believe that to successfully operate within certain systems, you have to become fundamentally compromised, and that will negatively
yeah.
impact your work. But
I mean,
I can count without even really thinking about it very
yeah.
hard at least a dozen Hollywood films that I think have by hook or crook or nature or selling their soul to the devil, somebody
Uh,
managed to make into something less
they,
pedestrian than it ought to have been.
yeah, they probably did. But like, I mean, I think my point with like media in general is like, it's like when people say like, "Oh, read the." As an example, let's not dig too deep. But as an
Sure,
example, let's say Harry Potter. It's like, oh, but some of the Harry
sure,
Potter books are good. It's like, yeah, but do you know how many books there are? Like, I don't
sure.
have to read Harry Potter. Like
Okay,
the films,
so
like,
there you go. That's a different argument, though, right? Like if
hmm,
the core of my argument is I don't have the time personally for all the media that exists, so I am going to use a
take
flawed
some,
heuristic
yeah,
to sever a section. Totally fine.
hmm,
That's a
hmm,
claim about an individual's use of their own time versus a claim about the like the structure of a media forum or like
Mhm.
the content within a specific vertical of media, right?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, fair. Like that version of the argument, I do agree with.
Yeah, but the first one's juicy though, isn't
Yeah, it is. I mean, it
it?
certainly pops more. See, this is why you can't. I'm calling it now. You're gonna be
Yeah.
back on Twitter.
No, see that's the thing. Like I realized I just snuck away.
Yeah.
But I know my psychology. I know how I work. If I say like in a very public way, screw this, it's stupid, then I would be too humiliated to ever do that again.
Hmm.
It's like if like it's like right. It's like with my work. Like if someone comes up to me and says, "I just saw what you're doing. Don't you dare do that." I know I will do that. I will absolutely do that. There's no way I'm not doing that now. I don't care what it is. I have to do it. And it's not my fault. It's your fault. So I know, and I there are certain like, you know, yeah. So I can't return to Twitter ever.
I
I mean,
I'll
it's
take you. I'll
possible I
take
would
you at your
turn up.
word. I
Yeah.
will. But at the same time, you have been so thoroughly infected, and I don't even think you realize it.
No, I have. I have to cut. Oh, and also like I mean, without context, you don't appreciate my capacity for cold turkey. I am king of cold turkey.
Fair. No,
Like
that's
I'm.
true.
It's like I was once on some kind of like really crazy. I had like a again, details not important. I had a small mental health crisis
Sure.
in relation to a thing long time ago, perfectly reasonable, nothing particularly interesting, and they gave me some kind of like brain drug, which is super powerful, some kind of opiate. And then every day they would come and they would give it to me, and then eventually they're saying like, we're going to give you some, but like we can't give you like a lot. And I really hated the relationship of them coming and like monitoring it
Sure.
and just saying like, oh well, it's addictive. It's like fine, I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna take it. It's like, oh no, you should take it over time. It's like, no, I'm gonna stop taking it now. Leave me alone. And I did, and
All
that's
right.
what I've always.
I
That's
mean,
it's a spite thing.
kicking
My spite
opiates is
extends
hard.
outwards and inwards.
If
It
you
is. It
can,
is.
yeah, if you can manage to kick opiates without
Mm,
titrating off, all right, I'll give you a fighting chance that you don't come back to Twitter.
it's powered on pure spite. It's
Fair.
not like a healthy, good, aspiring thing. So it's just what it is.
I mean,
It's what it is.
I'm a consequentialist at heart. I don't care if the means are good or bad. I just care if it accomplishes the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's. I mean, like lot of my work is done through spite. I think that's. I mean, I think it's a perfectly valid way to do it. It's like I don't know, because like I do, like I said, like I do some buy-in for my partner's
Sure.
shop thing, and a lot of times I hang out in discords where people say like, oh, I'm making this new cool thing. I don't like do anything there. I just watch it. Um, and then someone will be like, I'm selling this thing and it's quite expensive. And I was like, oh, that expensive, eh? And it's like, oh, you bastards. It's like, I'll go into the gym. It's like, give me 10. Give me 10 of those things. Here's extra money, you fuckers. So, yeah, that's what I really
I get it.
spite. Go spite.
All right,
Yeah.
dude. I've eaten up this is 75 minutes now.
Hmm.
I'm having a good time, but also, as I said, I'm an inveterate smoker, and my coffee is out, so this is probably a decent time to ask. Anything else? What like we both know this will probably be. I'll have this up in the next couple days, but like the print
Hmm.
version probably won't be out for like still another 6 to 9 months.
That's
So
fun.
I'm
Yeah.
excited to check against this oracular bellwether at that time. But anything else you want people to know, like in the future?
I don't want to know anything.
Wow. Okay. Just
Just,
fully empty head.
just yeah, just I mean, I don't want them to know anything. I mean, there's plenty of things. I just don't want them to have it. I just like just um, just give me. I want just enough attention and money to stay healthy. That's what I want. Just give me that.
All right.
There you go.
Um,
That's everyone's job.
well, I honestly, I hope that for you.
Me too.
All
Yeah.
right, buddy. Well, thanks for replying to my email and like being willing to do this at like the drop of a hat. It was good seeing you, and
Yeah.
I'm glad you're
Anytime.
doing well post the exit.
Oh
Um,
no. Yeah.
and wow, I just realized that could have been about Twitter or Brexit.
Could be anything. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. So, I don't know, and at some point, I figure you're going to still do cons, so I still need to get
Yeah, that'll
out to
happen.
UKG,
Hmm.
because that was the thing I was supposed to do for this book originally.
Oh yeah.
That did not happen.
Mm.
So, I look forward to seeing you sometime.
Yeah, undoubtedly. We're forced to move in the same circles whether we like it or not. So I'll be there.
Pretty
You'll
much.
be there
Yeah,
at some point.
one way
Yeah.
or another. All right. Well, now I
Yep.
know what you look like, and now I know what you sound like. So,
You can find me.
exactly. All right, buddy. Well, thanks again.
Right.
All right.
No worries. Take care.
You too.
Toodaloo.